last item because I'll ask for commissioner comments after this before closed session. I have a discussion about agenda order, and I'll take the responsibility or the blame or whatever you want to give me on this, but I believe that we really need to move the public comment section of our agenda to after our business meeting, at the end of it, let's put it that way. First, because of efficiency, I think as chairman, I felt the real need to move things along and be fair and listen to everybody, let everybody have their say. The public comments varies in time. From today, it was pretty short, to last time it was around 40-45 minutes. And we do have our order of business, informal comments, Rule 10 in our rules and procedures does speak to that. But for me as chair, I think the tone and efficiency of the meeting would be better if we could do our business, do the county's business, and then listen to our constituents, to our citizens. Secondly, and today's a perfect example of my main concern, and that is people sat here for 2 hours before they could get up and give their report. And these are guys who are employed. They took time off from their work or their business to come and speak to us, and took at least 2 hours out, lasted till lunchtime, at least for some of them. If we could have on our agenda an approximate time, and I think this has been done in the past, where if someone is going to give a report somewhere around 10:30, then they could show up at about 10:20 or so and give the report and then leave, and not have to sit for 2 hours. Now, if they chose to come, that's great. We welcome them here, but I would say we need to respect people's schedules and obligations. And the third thing that I would cite as the reason that I've thought about this is my constituents, people who talk to me, have said we need to do something about public comments to refine the process a little bit. And many of the suggestions have been move it to the end of the business meeting. So I'm listening to the citizens' suggestions. There's been a steady stream of people talking to me, especially since December, about doing something about this. So that's why I'm putting this proposal out there. I have a motion that I would put forward to see if it gets a second. I would move that we move permanently the 30-minute public comment part of the meeting to the end of our business meeting, and abide by the current rules and procedures regarding Rule 10, informal public comments. That's the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. It's time for discussion.
Now, this motion is just when the public comments happen. Now, that's from the beginning of the meeting to the end. That's it. The change in when it occurs.
Our rules and procedures that we adopted in December, and that was adopted before that, says the county manager clerk shall include on the agenda of each regular meeting a period of at least 30 minutes for comments or questions from members of the public in attendance. So it doesn't change that, it just moves it from beginning to this point, really, this point in the meeting where we concluded the county business and are able to listen to citizens.
Are you also suggesting to set time frames for the agenda? Because I sat here and watched all these county employees wasting 2 hours, some of them sitting here watching this meeting where they could be working.
Well, it is a great concern to me, as I said, because today's a perfect example. Don, help me out. Can you make that part of this agenda, this motion?
Yeah, I mean, that's how it used to be. I mean, this isn't new Public comments have been in the back and the front, it all depends on the board. When the public comments were at the end, I can take you back to the minutes. If you wish to put times on it, then what we would end up doing is as the agenda got set, literally, let's just use Clark for today, because they did go pretty good ways. I would sit there and go to Clark and say, Clark, you got 20 minutes, brother. And then I would tell Clark, you know, obviously, it's a different conversation with staff than it is with the public. You know, I can estimate the public, but I can give a more direct order to staff to say, you better keep it within 15, 20 minutes or however long. You know, if it's the general public, then ultimately, I'll try to talk to them and get an estimate, but it's up to this board to regulate their time. I mean, I can try to give them an estimated time, but that's how it used to be. And then you could actually give estimated times of when people come. It does, I've seen it done in the past. Sometimes you go faster than that estimated time. And then if you read your current rules allows for the agenda to be, it allows for the clerk and the county manager to set the agenda, first of all. This particular case, where the public comment sections are, was ruled by a previous board years and years ago to move it to the front versus the back. And I mean, this is probably 8 to 10 years, this is multiple boards ago, not just the last board. Excuse me. But then when we used to have times on this, what would happen is if somebody finished quicker, then, you know, it also allows for flexibility for the chair to call the agenda items as necessary without any objection from other board members. So if somebody finished quick, then you would recognize somebody else, and you kind of just go with the flow of how the meeting happens. But yes, there have been, when the public comments were on the back, we were putting times on the presenters.
I would like to see that. I think it would be an advantage.
I'm a little hesitant on the time limits as far as when the public
I'm not talking about time limits. I'm just talking about setting times, specific times for agenda items, such as Teresa and Amy and Brad could have been set for 11 o'clock.
Well, for instance, Mr. Clark was long.
Yes, we could have told him he had 15 minutes.
Or I could have put 30 minutes on there, 4 o'clock.
Yes.
See, I knew Clark would be a little bit longer today, so when I talked to Clark, I would have put 30 minutes on the agenda for the simple fact I'd asked Clark to do a little bit of background. You know, anything future with Clark, it's gonna be a 2-page, quickly, this is what we've done in the last month. But I would have put 30 minutes for Clark.
I've attended county commissioner meetings when they had that on the agenda, and it was nice.
Teresa and Brad and Amy could have shown up in quarter flat
Yes.
instead of 10.
Right.
That's my opinion. To be
I wasn't
respectful
talking
of
about
people's
time
jobs.
One thing to remember though is we work and we serve at the pleasure of the people and the public, and they're the people that put us here. They're the most important people in Alleghany County.
Exactly.
They pay the bills, they pay the taxes. Putting them off to last is offensive to me, and I will not vote for that. Setting a time limit of department managers and giving them a rough time, I would have no problem with that. One thing to remember though, I mean, this board is discussed and brought up on how important economic development was and how important it was, and we were wasting time on other things, but now you want to limit time on economic development, which really doesn't make sense to me. But I can see for the, you know, the benefit of certain departments in the county that yes, if you say they show up at 10:15, roughly around 10:15, they would get on the agenda. But yeah, and that is, you know, at the chair's discretion as far as, you know, moving items along. But putting public comments to the back, no, I cannot support that.
Any further questions or discussion? All I know is people that have talked to me, and they may not be the same people that talk to me, but we all have our constituents.
Yeah, I'm sure we talk to some different people.
Say, you need to do something. So this is an attempt to respond to that. But I'll tell you the honest truth, the getting people here 2 hours ahead of time they're going to speak is a major concern to me. It would help us move along.
So, could they not comment on what we met on that day? Commented on that?
I had that very same comment made to me today at the meeting.
Well, certainly they can, but obviously anyone can look at the agenda, and it's out Wednesday at noon before the meeting. And they know they don't hear everything, but, you know, they know what's gonna be discussed, and they can tailor their comments then at that point, you know, to that agenda item, if that's what they wish to do, or they can talk about whatever they want. And again, we serve at their pleasure. We work for them.
I agree with that, and, again, people, they're talking to me, I am trying to do this at their pleasure.
And that's fine.
So, but yes, speaking on things that we've done, I had a comment made at our recess, the very same thing, you know, we'd be able to comment immediately without waiting 2 weeks to do it, which I thought that sounds good to me. Any further discussion?
I think that, I don't see it necessarily as offensive, I see it as reasonable and as far as what order the public comments come in and maybe respectful of other people's times, personally.
As you can see, all the employees are gone, they're gone to work, so it's an efficient use of their time.
But if you remember, the first comment that our chairman made is today's public comments didn't go that long, so it's not the public comments that held the people sitting in these chairs, remember that?
Not today.
Not today.
Not today, but you just pointed that out.
You're right. You're right. Okay, if there's no further discussion,
I would like to make another comment. Mr. Goudreau, I'm not trying to diminish the BDC's or the economic development time. That was not part of my
Neither am I.
comment. I just think it would be a good, efficient use of time if the employees knew what time limit, or not even a time limit. How can you
And I
let
agree.
them
I have
tell
no
us how
problem
much
with that.
time that they need, and then we can work with that.
I have no problem with it.
all right, all those in favor of the motion as stated, signify by saying aye. All those opposed?
All right.
4-1. Just, I want to ask if any community